Hello and welcome. It says I'm live. That's interesting. It's a good thing. Hopefully everything's working. If it's not, you can maybe give me a heads up in the chat if you notice that something's wrong. But we're gonna play a few videos. The Earth is flat, guys, and that's very important. So let's check out this little bit of MC Toon science. What you're saying that, like, if you had the camera spinning pointed at stationary lights on or whatever, or if you had spinning lights and a stationary camera, wouldn't you get the same thing?
If and only if the camera is directly underneath the center of rotation.
Oh, but you're saying that that would mean that the sky would have to be a solid piece that's moving, and the space between the stars doesn't change physically. That's the only way that you'd need to be underneath that, right? Because if you're pointing it like at an angle towards the ceiling, you're going to get different distances.
So going with the idea of flat Earth, the AE map, where the North Pole is the center, you'd have to be at the North Pole, right? If you're at the North Pole,
if the stars were attached to a piece of cardboard, yes,
or a dome, right?
Or a dome, yes. But why do you think the stars are attached to the dome? Did God get the Elmers out and glue them to the bottom of the dome or something? That's not what I believe, and I believe what's in the Bible. And in Genesis, it says God made two great lights, and he set them in the firmament of the heaven. And if you read other places in the Bible and other books, they freely move through gates and on their tasks and orbits within the firmament. He set them in the firmament of the heaven. He didn't glue them to a piece of cardboard in the sky or a piece of glass in the sky.
And the dome is rotating versus.
But if you're right.
Versus a globe,
you get ovals.
You get ovals. You got it. Yeah. So if to the side, you get ovals if you're not in the center.
But that's not what happens on the Earth.
You're right. We don't get ovals.
No, but we shouldn't get ovals because we get circles. That's the whole point. Is it on a flat Earth? See, that's going like to this AE map or whatever. No, you just said that you just brought up the AE map, and that's the problem. There is no map that is going to, because in reality we see circles. So why are we talking about ovals? Because that's just like a fairy tale. We're not talking about ovals. We're talking about circles.
But it's testing. It's science. You have a hypothesis.
Science. If you're going to bring up science, then we're going to talk about stationary Earth.
For your information, it is not science to have 7.8 billion people living in a world that to them, throughout all of the day and the night, it doesn't move. It's completely stationary. It's not science to infer the exact opposite and believe that it's rotating. Sorry, Toon. You're not doing science.
Then you
can't bring up science in this.
Why?
Are you serious?
Why can't I bring up science?
Because you deny the only observations you make. You have, if science won't reject the only observations that are made.
Oh my gosh.
Well, 7.8 billion people observe an Earth that doesn't move. It doesn't move beneath us. Look at the room you're in. It's not moving.
But what's the hypothesis and how is it measured?
Well, the observation is that we're not moving. But then,
what's the hypothesis?
I don't really care.
How did you measure it? How did you quantify? How did you?
We don't have to measure it.
No, we're talking about science.
No, science.
Listen. You get a hypothesis.
You're making an observation.
You need a hypothesis.
The first thing you have to do is throw your observation out, because your idea, your intellectual idea, goes against your only observation you make. No. You must make up a different reason for it.
But
Am I right?
But my observation is that I see opposite rotating celestial poles. That's my observation. I see two different rotating poles.
Okay, so you're saying they rotate in opposite directions? Because they don't.
They do. One is
No, they
clockwise,
don't.
the other is counterclockwise.
No, that's because you're turning around.
See, Toon, what you're doing here is you're trying to act as if you know something that you clearly don't know. If we live in a world where no matter where you are, the stars are rising in the east and setting in the west, why are you saying that there's an opposite rotation in the north and in the south? Do you not realize that if I face this camera right now and I go clockwise, which way does that look like to you? Is that clockwise? Okay, so I'm going to keep my hand going clockwise, and I'm going to turn myself around, and look at that. I'm seeing counterclockwise, and I'm still going clockwise. Do you see that? If you're on the earth and you're facing south, you're looking at a different part of the sky than if you're facing north. No matter where. The stars all rise in the east and set in the west. They're all going the same direction. So what you're actually doing, and you'll see this coming up in this video, is you're pretending that you understand something that you have no grasp of, which is strange because I wouldn't expect you to do that. The stars all rotate in one direction.
You're turning from north where we live. No, you got to hear me out, Toon. I don't want you to be in error like this.
I don't want the third. I've already got 2 flat Earth videos, flat Earthers on video, not understanding counter rotation.
Let me explain something. Let me explain something. If we're in Minnesota right here and Polaris is at 45 degrees, which direction are you facing to look at Polaris? You're facing north.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, and we're getting a counter or an anti-clockwise rotation that we see going around that point in the sky.
Yes.
What happens if you turn 90 degrees left? You're going to see them going down. And if you look to your right, like say you're at the equator, you're going to see, if you're looking west, everywhere on Earth, the stars are setting in the west, rising in the east, everywhere on Earth. They're all going the same direction. It's because you had to turn around. That's why they appear to go the opposite direction. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get where you're trying.
He gets where I'm trying. Welcome, everyone. And I like what Jewish Samaritan said. Do not deny the truth thereof, of the Bible. You know what's interesting? I was just talking with my dad yesterday, and I was talking about why would anyone ever doubt what's in the Bible? Like, I stood back from society for a second, and I said, there's this legendary book that's been around for as long as we have any, it's been around for all of the generations that we would be able to even think of in our own family. They think many generations ago, they wanted a copy but couldn't get one, or the scriptures. When Jesus was here, they had scriptures. They had books that they looked to that were legendary. So I just wanted to say that these books in what we call the Bible are not just books. They almost they compete with time, if I can say it that way. They compete with time. Anyway, so here's where MC Toon. This is interesting stuff, you guys. MC Toon, he thinks that he understands something that he doesn't. And the kind of scary part about that is, once again, if we go to these books, these legendary books, go to the book of Enoch, chapter 80. It talks about it. You know what I've learned from the book of Enoch? Something just recently is that the book of Enoch tells you what the sinners and what the righteous are doing. It tells you what the sinners do, and it tells you what the righteous does. And it's not what I thought. It's not what I thought. And it has to do with the stars. A lot of it has to do with the stars. And Enoch chapter 80, it says, the whole order of the stars will be concealed from the sinners, and the thoughts of those on the earth will err concerning them. So this is what I'm seeing happen. MC Toon is trying to tell me that there's opposite rotation at the poles or I'll call it this axis of rotation, celestial axis of rotation. It all goes one direction, and we're very small looking up at a large sky. We don't see the whole sky. We only see the part we can see from where we are. And they all go the same direction, no matter where you are. But anyway, we'll get back to the video here. I just wanted to say hi to everyone.
And you see it? Do the stars rotate in an opposite direction in the north and the south? No. In the southern hemisphere, if you face north, you'll see the exact same thing you'll see. The orientation or the rotation, the direction of rotation. You'll see the same thing as you see in the north. If you face south, you're going to see the opposite as if you face north. They're all going the same way, Toon. So I like that you're laughing at me, because it kind of shows me and anybody watching this video that you really are in a bad position when it comes to understanding something that I've learned recently. I'm not trying to be proud about any of this. I'm trying to share information that is true against lies that I used to believe. And when I started to understand what I was seeing in nature, reality, it's obviously true. And what you're believing about some opposite rotation of the stars is amateur. You clearly have not even tried to understand what some of us flat earthers are trying to share with you.
Oh, by the way, okay, I'm breaking in the video again. By the way, I don't say this like with the empty intentions or something, because if you want to know that I own a P1000, and you want to know who has my P1000 right now? MC Toon. I borrowed it to him on a challenge that he took me up on, which is cool. But the challenge is about this. I told him to take the camera and do star trails with my camera, and to learn the orientation of, or not the orientation, I don't know what the right word is, the direction that the stars rotate. It all depends on the direction a person, a viewer, is facing. You have to perceive it from somewhere. And if you're perceiving it from where you are, it's going to be a certain way. And if you drive 1,000 miles, it's going to change. It's going to be a different way. And but as far as the direction of the rotation goes, anywhere you are, if you look to the north, you're going to see the stars rotating counterclockwise. And if you look to the south, you're going to see them rotating clockwise, because they all go in one direction. And I know this is probably like a subject that a lot of people understand really clearly, but I think a lot of people still haven't had this understanding presented to them, because I had to. I don't know how, I couldn't say how I learned it, but when probably from looking at the stars a lot and from just trying to understand it. But there's something that if you're living on a globe, you haven't seen yet concerning the stars. There's something you haven't seen yet, and when you see it, you don't believe in the globe or the solar system anymore. Because when you see it, you say to yourself, well, that was dumb. Why did they teach me that? Because what I'm looking at now. So it has something to do with blindness being healed, like a miracle being performed. And I'm serious. I mean, like, maybe not in a physical way, but somewhat in a physical way. I can see things I couldn't see before, and I see them very clearly. And with time, I see them more and more and more clearly. That's why I keep playing these videos. But yeah, so MC Toon has my camera right now, and I hope he's just having fun with it. He was going to Florida, I think, But so we'll meet up and we'll see if he, you know, posts some of the star. What I wanted him to do is because when you go over there to his channel, the chat is ruthless, and they're all amateur. I mean, like not all of them, but most of the people that would like try to rip on me say something like, well, explain why the stars rotate in a different direction in the southern hemisphere than they do in the northern hemisphere. And I'm like, they don't, but they really don't understand that they're the ones that are in error. And it's so clear. And the funny thing is, it's whether you live on a globe or a flat earth, the sky's still the same. That's what I was saying at the beginning of this video. I was saying, why are you talking about oval star trails? Where do you get oval? No one's ever taken oval star trails. No one's ever seen that because it doesn't exist. Why are you talking about it? But so here we go. Back to the video. I'll probably pipe in. I've got a bunch of videos that I want to watch and talk about a little bit. So thank you everyone for hanging. Andrew says, for sure, Joe, I was blind. Isn't that weird? And ears to hear, he says too. And Thomas Morgan says, sounds like it would take eyes to see. And that's the thing is, I think if you think about the stance that I'm just using MC Toon for an example. I know he doesn't mind. But just taking MC Toon and looking at how has like his stance in what he believes, it's all based on some basically things that could go either way, or they could go like, that's why I said to him when we got lunch, I said, you know, if you wanted proof of curvature, you could find it. You could find it. That's what stance he takes. We know it's a ball, so everything that I look at is going to show me that. But there's the simple things like the stationary, obvious, not moving, still motionless Earth that we live on. He has to infer right off the bat that it's actually moving at, well, 1 revolution per day, whatever that would mean. The ground doesn't have a revolution. It's just sitting there. It's beneath us. It's solid. It's the place we live on. Anyway, here we go.
And I would suggest that you should. You don't have to be a flat earther, but if you understood why there are so many flat earthers, you'll see why the numbers of flat earthers only grows and the numbers of people believing in the globe only shrinks. There's a reason for that.
There's not a point in the sky where the stars switch direction.
Correct.
Okay. So don't say that they're opposite rotation.
No, one is counterclockwise, the other is clockwise. That's the point.
Because you're perceiving it from a different direction.
That's my observation.
Yes.
Okay. And the hypothesis is that we are on a rotating sphere.
So your hypothesis is that we live on, down here, beneath my feet, that's a rotating sphere.
Okay, I'm pausing it again because I want this to be really clear. I want people to understand what the big huge flaw in see, he's saying that's my observation, that he sees if he stands at the equator and he looks left, he sees them going clockwise, and if he looks right, he sees them going counterclockwise because they're all going in the same direction, but he says opposite directions for some reason. So whatever. But the point that I'm going to make right here in this video is probably the most important point. He's adding to his observation something that never happens.
So your science is making a hypothesis. You're making a hypothesis that the ground is rotating. And the problem with that is that's pseudoscience because you don't make an observation of the ground rotating or in any kind of motion. You observe the opposite. So you make an observation, throw it out the window, even though it's what you experience. And then what do? You laugh at me because I'm trying to point it out to you.
Yes, I understand.
So then the test is, does that observation match, does the prediction of being on a rotating sphere match the reality? And yes, it does, because on a rotating sphere, when you're at 45 degrees and you look north, you should see
I agree with you.
The sky rotating in one direction.
Yep,
and if you're
I
at
agree with you.
45 degrees south and you look south, it should be rotating in the opposite direction.
Because you're facing the opposite direction.
So that's a basic science experiment you can do, and it confirms the hypothesis that the Earth is a sphere.
One problem with your hypothesis is that you're pretending that you're in the north on this fake ball. So you're here and you're looking at 45 degrees and you're seeing counterclockwise rotation. Now you're telling me that you're going all the way down this huge curve. You're going literally upside down and looking in the sky at 45 degrees. How do you do that? How's that science? How do you look at the ground from upside down? See, that's not science. You're making things up in your mind.
I just noticed that I said that wrong. I said, how do you look at the ground when you're upside down? I should have said, how do you look at the sky when you're upside down? Sorry. I'm going to show you what the part that he made up right now. Let's see. Oh, he's real close. He's making those hand signs, those imaginary. Okay, we'll find it.
It does, because on a rotating sphere.
Okay, you guys, it's right here. He's going to make a hand motion that is nothing having to do with reality, because it never happens, but he's adding it to his observation. So look at his hand motion.
When you're at 45 degrees and you look north, you should see
I agree with you.
The sky rotating in one direction.
Yep,
and if you're
I
at
agree with you.
45
Right
degrees
there.
south and you look south, it should.
Well, wait a minute. Let's go back. So when he says, when you're at 45 degrees north, and then he turns his hand and he does like a circle, and then he points and he says south, it's made up. It's false. It's added. Nobody experiences or observes that.
When you're at 45 degrees and you look north, you should see.
Okay, ready? Here it is.
I agree with you.
The sky rotating in one direction.
Okay, right here.
Yep,
and if you're
I
at
agree with you.
45 degrees south and you.
Have you ever driven south? When you drove south to Florida, MC Tune, you didn't drive like that. You just drove on a road. You didn't drive upside down. Get it?
Look south, it should be rotating in the opposite direction.
Because you're facing the opposite direction.
So that's a basic science experiment we can do, and it confirms the hypothesis that the Earth is a sphere.
One problem with your hypothesis is that you're pretending that you're in the north on this fake ball. So you're here and you're looking at 45 degrees and you're seeing counterclockwise rotation. Now you're telling me that you're going all the way down this huge curve. You're going literally upside down and looking in the sky at 45 degrees. How do you do that? How's that science? How do you look at the ground from upside down? See, that's not science. You're making things up in your mind. You're pretending you're on a globe. And you're like, if I was on a globe and I went around and kept going and went under the bottom side and then looked up and see, you're making things up. It's not reality. You know what? When you face north, up is that way. When you face south, up is that way. It doesn't change. Just because you traveled a certain distance, it doesn't change. And there's no way to even know, except you have an idea that your 69 miles changes 1 degree, but it doesn't. It's actually the same for everyone. Australia is not upside down. Good night, mate. Okay, this is the conclusion of this short video. I'm out of town in a hotel.
Okay, none of that matters. I think this video is this video. Okay, So here's the warning. We're gonna play a song, but it's a B.O.B. song, so I would say, yeah, it's up to you. If you have kids, that's your gig. But I'm just letting you know for the next 2 minutes or so. It's a B.O.B. song.
And let me know if you like these kind of videos. I'll make more because I have time.
Stop running in the hall. Good to stop. Slow down, sir. Slow down, sir. Stop running in the hall, sir. Anthony, get to class. You're never gonna become a college student at that rate.
Got it. Fucking science. Yeah. Fucking science, bro.
Lab coat, check. Goggles, check. Nodules, check. Fucking science, bro.
Hiya, lads. Welcome to science class. Bob, quit writing raps in your log sheet. No one's gonna sign your ass. Okay, let's get scientific. Fossil fuels come from years and years of biodecomposition. It's really just scientific. Why didn't all the fossils turn to oil? Some did, some didn't. Anyway. Didn't Rockefeller pass Science is Off the Year Geneva Convention? Wait, what was that? You wanna come up here in front of class? What, you wanna teach? You really think you're smarter than me? No, sir. Sit down. Here's your homework on the atom bomb and the World War, how it affected us then and now. Well, I seen the footage and I really just want some answers. How does someone film an atomic bomb and it doesn't destroy the camera? I mean, I was just... Bro, I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know. Fucking science, bro!
Lab coat,
Okay.
check. Goggles,
Science! All right.
nodules, check.
Fucking science, bro. Welcome to history! We evolved from Neanderthals. That is no mystery. Well, why are there no monkey fossils? What, anywhere? Are you kidding me? I'm just saying. I just should have learned that way back in elementary. Man, this nigga don't know what the fuck he's
What?
talking about.
I have a diploma. Do you have a diploma? Or a learning disorder? My wife is a lawyer. We both have a daughter. She's doing fine with the things that we
Yeah,
taught
I'm
her.
just using the scientific method. Did we evolve from Electronica boy or Homo erectus? And all of the fossilized footprints in the fossil records don't show a line of thrust. That's not consistent with compression.
What the fuck did he just say?
Yeah, okay, smartass. This is real knowledge. Save all the hippie shit for art class. It's really starting to bug me on this one. Gonna have to trust me on this one. I've done the studies on this one. Real little rusty on this one. I mean, why can't you just answer my question on the subject?
It's not in the fucking book. It's not up for discussion.
Science. I fucking love science. I love science.
Lab coat, check. Goggles, check. Nodules, check.
Fucking science, bro. Damn, must have been the hell of them Stegosaurus. It's over century burning fossil fuel. Still ain't no shortages. I ain't saying I'm Neo, but I'm nothing short of a Morpheus. Fuck, thought this was a globe. I gotta check my coordinates. You could blame my disorderly conduct on my subordinates. If it ain't no Coriolis, who's to blame for New Orleans? Why the poorest people always get extorted by corporate giants? We don't boycott, we buy in, and I find it unfortunate. Yeah, me plus you plus her plus her, that's four.
Math.
Bring your worst and I'm gonna bring much.
So that was fun. Okay, so with StreamYard, I guess it doesn't play back very well sometimes. I don't know if that's skipping on your guys' end, but it's like a little not very good. So let's change the subject a little bit. Well, let me play this quick little video. This one's quick, so I'll be right back.
That I don't present evidence of the Earth being stationary. For you guys, the Earth being stationary, the evidence for it is the Earth being stationary. You're observing it right now. You can reject it and be a science denier and deny your own observations. But that wouldn't be science. You're not going to learn anything if you reject the observation you make. You're going to make assumptions, and you're going to create a construct in your mind of a rotating Earth that you do not observe. And you're going to do all of this from the Earth beneath your feet, where You're not turning or rotating, and it's still.
That's just terrible at replaying. Wow. I don't know. Hopefully it's not doing that on your end, but probably it is. Okay, so let's remove from studio. I'm learning how to do this. Present video file. I downloaded some videos from my channel. Oh, did you guys know there's a clearance sale on science? It's cheapest science on earth. Let's watch that.
As virtual particles that come into existence and then go out of existence in less time than you can actually measure their existence. And totally empty space is seething with virtual particles.
That is real science.
Sorry, flat earthers.
Helium hydride,
the first
type of molecule to ever form
in the universe,
has been detected in
space
for the first time ever.
Helium hydride
has been detected in space for the first time ever.
The first type of molecule to ever form in the universe
has been detected in
for the first time ever.
What does the ISS smell like?
Oh, you can smell a little roast beef.
That's it. So you're telling me your pee was orbiting the Earth?
Apparently, yes. I never thought of it that way, but yes, for a little bit until it crystallized, it kind of disappears.
No, then it would re-enter the atmosphere.
Yes. Well.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yes. I peed on everybody.
You peed on Earth.
Yes, I guess
oh
so.
my gosh.
This is actually a container that has urine in it, and we get that from the Russians. And we put that then into our recycling system, our water recycling system. So first it goes into the urine processor, and then from there it goes into the water processor to make us drinking water. We're drinking the urine coming from these ones. We get that from the Russians. And it's just something that you have to engineer around when you make a spacecraft.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to reiterate that yes, you did hear that right. That astronaut did say, so we're drinking the urine from the Russians. Let's just make sure he said that. But he really did. It's kind of weird. Wonder what Vladimir Putin thinks of that. Wow.
Urine coming from these ones. We get that from the Russians. And it's just something that you have to engineer around. We're drinking the urine coming from these ones. We get that from the Russians. And it's just something that you have to engineer around when you make a spacecraft.
Just as the United States was the first nation to reach the moon in the 20th century, so too will we be the first nation to return astronauts to the moon in the 21st century.
Well, how do you plan to get there? In this trash can?
We're dreaming big.
Well, now I've seen everything.
And it'll get more and more obvious as you go along.
Come and play. Everything's A-okay.
That you use, and then a machine that goes chugga, 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 chug, and then you go to the galley and you make yourself a cup of coffee. And that's exactly what you are thinking it is.
They sure like to celebrate, don't they? They're celebrating that picture that's above them right now. Wow! Yeah, Thomas Morgan's right. That's how unclean spirits roll. All these people make good money. You and I are doing things.
We're dreaming big, and it'll get more and more obvious as you go along.
This is Sophia the robot. Sophia, welcome. How do we use AI to start?
Ooh, I don't think I can play this on YouTube. Yeah, I better not. So that was the end of that video. That one got me in trouble on YouTube, I think. I kind of want to play it, though. It's on my TikTok. Sophia is on my TikTok. I think it's, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the one that I can't play. So, bummer. Let me see. I'm getting a new video here. Let's see. I have 3 videos here about my telescopes. But that's... Oh, this is a good one here. Falling stars are demons falling. I think this is a good one.
Start 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions beyond. Very happy.
And when they were gone, I ordered Orneus be brought forward and said to him, "Tell me how you know this." And he answered, "We demons ascend into the firmament of heaven and fly about among the stars. And we hear the sentences which go forth upon the souls of men. And forthwith we come, and whether by force or of influence, or by fire, or by sword, or by some accident, we veil our act of destruction. And if a man does not die by some untimely disaster or by violence, then we demons transform ourselves in such a way as to appear to men and be worshipped in our human nature."
Did you guys hear that? I wish I had a better copy of this. This is from the Testament of Solomon, and this is astronauts. Listen to what, I'm going to rewind it. Just listen to what. So Solomon is questioning a demon right now about, well, the demon just reveals a lot of information. And so this is really interesting. But he reveals that they, because he's asked, how do you go up into the firmament and with the stars intermingle or something like that? And he's explaining it. He's explaining like the space program. Just listen to his words. We'll go back here.
When they were gone, I ordered Orneus be brought forward and said to him, "Tell me how you know this." And he answered, "We demons ascend into the firmament of heaven and fly about among the stars. And we hear the sentences which go forth upon the souls of men. And forthwith we come, and whether by force or of influence, or by fire, or by sword, or by some accident, we veil our act of destruction. And if a man does not die by some untimely disaster or by violence, then we demons transform ourselves in such a way as to appear to men and be worshipped in our human nature. I therefore, having heard this, glorified the Lord God, and again I questioned the demons, saying, Tell me how ye can ascend into heaven, being demons, and amidst the stars and holy angels intermingle. And he answered, Just as things are fulfilled in heaven, so also on earth are fulfilled the types of all of them. For there are principalities, authorities, world rulers, and we demons fly about in the air, and we hear the voices of the heavenly beings, and survey all the powers, and as having no ground basis on which to alight the rest, we lose strength and fall off like leaves from trees. And men, seeing us, imagine that the stars are falling from heaven. But it is not really so, O king, but we fall because of our weakness, and because we have nowhere anything to lay hold of, and so we fall down like lightnings in the depth of the night and suddenly, and we set cities in flames and fires in the fields. For the stars have firm foundations in the heavens, like the sun and moon. Ephesians chapter 6, verses 10 through 13 says this, Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 22 says, My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place. For the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. Second Esdras chapter 15, verse 25 says, I won't spare them. Go away, faithless children. Don't defile my sanctuary. In John 10, verse 1, Jesus says, Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. And the angel answered and said unto me, Follow me, and I will show you the place of the just, where they are led when they are deceased. And after these things, taking thee into the abyss, I will show thee the souls of sinners, and what sort of place they are led into when they have deceased. And I proceeded back after the angel, and he led me into heaven. And I looked back upon the firmament, and I saw in the same place power, and there was their oblivion, which deceives, and draws down to itself the hearts of men, and the spirit of detraction, and the spirit of fornication, and the spirit of madness, and the spirit of insolence. And there were there the princes of vices. These I saw under the firmament of heaven. And again I looked back, and I saw angels without mercy, having no pity, whose countenance was full of madness, and their teeth sticking out beyond the mouth. Their eyes shone like the morning star of the east, and from the hairs of their heads sparks of fire went out, or from their mouth. And I asked the angel, saying, Sir, who are those? And the angel answered and said unto me, These are those who are destined to the souls of the impious in the hour of need, who did not believe that they had the Lord for their helper, nor hoped in him. And he took me down from the third heaven, and led me into the second heaven. And again he led me on to the firmament, and from the firmament he led me over the doors of heaven. The beginning of its foundation was on a river which waters all the earth. And I asked the angel and said, Lord, what is this river of water? And he said to me, This is Oceanus. And suddenly I went out of heaven, and I understood that it is the light of heaven which lightens all the earth. For the land there is 7 times brighter than silver. And I said, Lord, what is this place? And he said to me, This is the land of promise. Hast thou never heard what is written? Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. The souls, therefore, of the just, when they have gone out of the body, are meanwhile dismissed to this place. And I said to the angel, Then this land will be manifested before the time? And the angel answered and said to me, When Christ, whom thou preachest, shall come to reign, then, by the sentence of God, the first earth will be dissolved, and this land of promise will then be revealed. And it will be like dew or cloud, and then the Lord Jesus Christ, the King eternal, will be manifested and will come with all his saints to dwell in it. And he will reign over them 1,000 years, and they will eat of the good things which I shall now show unto thee. Sorry guys, I was just trying to turn the volume down. This is footage taken from the space shuttle. Interesting. I think it's an infrared camera. Interesting. So this video is not done yet. It's like, how many minutes long? It's like more than twice as long. So maybe we'll keep playing it. Maybe we'll go to a different one. We'll find out right now.
And he said to me, Because of their iniquity, their judgment has been completed, and they will no longer be counted before me. Because of their sorceries, they have searched out and learnt, the earth and those who dwell upon it will be destroyed. And they came upon the wind from the east and from the west to the south. And the sound of the noise of their chariots was heard. And when this occurred, the holy ones observed it from heaven, and the pillars of the earth were shaken from their foundations, and the sound was heard from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven throughout the day. And all will fall down and worship the Lord of spirits. And this is the end of the second parable.
Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then?
Jesus answered, Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. That I should bear witness unto the truth. Truth.
So, do you bear witness unto the truth, or have you yet? It's a very specific truth. But yeah, that to me is really cool. What Jesus said before, like, not too long before he was crucified. He said he came here to bear witness to the truth. Let's hear it one more time.
That I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice.
Yeah, so it's like you hear his voice.
That I should bear witness unto the truth. Truth.
Okay, we got another video coming up here. What is it? Uh-oh. We're getting into Revelation. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. It's the second beast did that.
Propulsive landing.
Propulsive landing. Think about that. Making fire come down from the sky.
Getting the basic infrastructure of being able to reuse these rockets.
Fast, you're going to do a final burn here in just a moment. There's final burn 1 and 2. 2 candles coming down.
Before they make their noise, listen to this Enoch chapter 57. This is part of it. And the noise of their wagons was heard. And when this turmoil took place, the holy ones from heaven remarked it. And the pillars of the earth were moved from their place. And the sound thereof was heard from one end of the heaven to the other in one day.
Double sonic booms. Beautiful landing. And I see 2 standing. There they go.
Fuck yes! Holy shit!
I believe that it's important for the future to be a spacefaring civilization and out there, ultimately be out there among the stars. And I think that's the exciting, inspiring future that I think certainly people in this room want.
You know, we've been studying as deep as we can into some of the astronomical events that have taken place in the world. And when we start talking about this destroyer, obviously millions of things, something major comes to mind, but a lot of different clues on what a lot of mythologies talk about. I mean, almost all of them have this star or thing or whatever you want to call it that comes forth and creates a catastrophic event that really actually changes, and you'll get into that, but changes time itself.
Yeah, it changes time itself. It changes the calendar.
This star.
This is the only place that humans have outside of planet Earth where humans can live. And if you like, down there on Earth, you can actually see it with your naked eye. You just go to the ISS website and it tells you when to see us. You can look up in the sky and you will see this bright little star moving over the sky.
This star.
Now, when this war begins, also the war in the heavenlies will take place. And we're going to look at a text here in 2nd Esdras, and we're going to look behind the scenes into the spiritual realm for just a moment. In 2nd Esdras 15:35, and they shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth. And even their own star. And blood shall be from the sword unto the belly, and even their own star. And even their own star.
This bright little star moving over the sky.
And even their own star. Now, this talks about casualties in the angelic realm of stars being beat down to the earth by other stars. This is literally an angel war that we're seeing, and the war in heaven. This is going to be wild, and I don't know how much of this we're going to see. During this time, the word in Isaiah says, you know, you better get in and hide, because there's going to be all kinds of strange going on. This is when Jesus said men's hearts are going to fail them for fear. Their hearts are just going to give out because it's just too much for them. Now, there is a precise correlation to this in the scripture about the smiting down of the stars. Now, let's read it in Daniel chapter 8 and verse 10. And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. That there's going to be casualties in this spiritual war. We're actually going to have angels fighting and destroying one another, casting them to the ground and stamping them. And in this text, it says that the little horn will do this.
Behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him. He cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him. And there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken. And for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven. And it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. He doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. So that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
And even their own star.
This bright little star moving over the sky. This is the only place that humans have outside of planet Earth where humans can live. And if you like, down there on Earth, you can actually see it with your naked eye. You just go to the ISS website, and it tells you when to see us. You can look up in the sky, and you will see this bright little star.
This star
moving over the sky. Here we are, 6 humans on the International Space Station, the embassy of humankind out in space.
And even their own star.
You can look up in the sky, and
they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. When they behold the beast.
You can look up in the sky, and
they behold the beast.
You will see this bright little star.
They behold the beast.
Moving over the sky.
They behold the beast that was, and is not, and yet is.
You can see that on many, many nights, and if you see it, think about that humans actually built this.
And even their own star.
On the International Space Station, outside of planet Earth.
So incredibly black, so incredibly dark. It's a bottomless pit of deep black.
Wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. Because in the Bible, there's a place where there's darkness forever. And it's called hell.
It's a bottomless pit.
Yeah, that the playback on these videos is so choppy. It's kind of disappointing. So sorry about that.
So how does it feel to ride in a dragon on top of the beast named Falcon 9?
Yeah, wow. I tell you, I don't know if there's words really to properly describe what that felt like. You talk about sitting on a dragon on top of the beast, and it definitely was. You knew you were going somewhere, and this one was a little bit longer. So we actually had to live in dragon for quite a while.
Ride in a dragon on top of the beast named Falcon 9.
And I beheld.
Hey, H. Jasper E says that's some dark SH. I won't say it, but yeah. If you look through one set of eyes, it is. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at it from the eyes of these prophets that wrote all these books, how did they know about this stuff? Like, that's what's crazy to me. I mean, Daniel 8 describes the stage separations of a rocket launch, and it ends up going up to the sky, and it ends up making stars come down from the sky. That is some dark stuff. Like, how did they see this? What I'm saying is, how do we get to the point right now where, see, we're only able to live one lifetime, and it happens to be our lifetime that we're living right now. I mean, if you were living the time when your grandparents lived, it would be different. Everything would be different. And honestly, we didn't have rockets flying up into the firmament. We didn't have all that. And then Daniel was like, this was like, I don't know how many years ago, 3,000 years ago. Like, that's why I was saying these books, the Bible, the books in the Bible, they're legendary books. They've been around for as long as, like, any of our families, or, you know what I'm saying, is like everyone, all of our ancestors that we could ever think of probably read the Bible, probably read books of the Bible, whatever you want, however you want to say it. They read the scriptures, or they knew about them. This book is legendary. And then now the things that I'm learning, like just look at I think this is going to go over Daniel 8 right now in this video. Just check out the things that he says. It's almost a word that Bobby Thompson from the channel Flat Earth and Coffee, he said verbatim, and I'm like, it is. That's what it is. It's it's like it's exact. And you have to think of it as someone 3,000 years ago wrote this. There was no cars 3,000 years ago. We live with all these things. There was so many things that we have that are normal to us that didn't even exist. So you have to think about it from that point of view too.
Beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Stage 1 entry startup.
And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Sitting on a dragon on top of the beast.
It's a bottomless pit.
In this abyss of darkness.
We made it through that video. That's cool. I'm gonna grab another video. There's a few of them they're shorter ones, but I wanted to look at. Here's another one. Okay, this is Daniel again, but this is in Daniel chapter 7 when he describes seeing these beasts. And here's the first one that he sees. Like, he describes something that we know of. I don't know how it happens, but God showed it to him. And it was part of a story too. That it was a part of a story of a kingdom coming that the Son of God was bringing. A kingdom. Just think about that. a promised land. And what's this debate we're having in the world right now? Just think about it. It's important. Here we go.
King of Babylon, the dreams of his in his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked. And it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked. And it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it.
So Andrew in the chat says, I'm really trying. Oh, hold on. Let me pause this. Sorry. Okay. Andrew says, I'm really trying to understand the Daniel thing, abomination that causes desolation. Please help me get it. I think we're all trying to understand what that is. But like, if I was to, I couldn't say exactly, but just one thing that Jesus said is when he said, when you see, and that's another thing he said, and let the reader understand, or something like that. That all I know is that it stands in the holy place. To me, that is New Jerusalem. That's up in heaven. And you know how in Revelation 11, I think, he's told to measure the temple of God. And, well, he's told to rise and measure the temple of God. And he's told that the court without, or something, was going to be given to the Gentiles. And they shall, or what is it? They'll tread the holy city underfoot, or I don't remember exactly how it worded it, but they'll tread it underfoot for 42 months. And so I think maybe that would be part of that abomination, standing in the holy place. But I think it has to do with people trying to go up there, just like similar to the Tower of Babel. Let's see here. Let me remove this. I couldn't say exactly, Andrew. I don't know, but I know that someone's teaching us a lot of these things. So I would say that we can just continue trying to learn, you know. Thomas Morgan said, I don't know. I do. This is great. I don't know. I heard in the book of Job that Satan was driving a Tesla. Yeah, maybe. You know, in the book of Job, he does talk about Leviathan, though. And he has scales that don't let any air through. Reminds me of like a heat shield on a spacecraft. Tony's Coffee House. What's up? What's up? Let's see. I have like a video I could play, but I don't. It's kind of it's probably similar to the ones we were just watching. But let's watch this one. Let me see how long this one is. Okay, 3 minutes. Okay, this one. it just like, here's how I'm looking at it now. Actually, oh, that's what I really want to do. The problem I'm having with the StreamYard too is anytime I even touch my mouse and move my mouse, it like, that's when it seems like it like gets like choppy or whatever, skippy. I kind of feel like showing you a video that I watched yesterday. Let me just try to look something up here real quick. I gotta open a page. I can't do this when the video's playing, or it just won't work. I have to open a YouTube here, and I gotta go to my channel. Or no, I don't have to go to my channel. I have to go to my history. I just want to maybe play this just to one of those ISS interviews. But she said some things. Okay, let's see here. I don't know if I can do this and it'll work, but we'll find out. Let's see here. Let me open this. Sorry, guys. Tell me if this works. Desktop. See, I think you see, or let's see here. I think question, hear it. We'll find out here. Okay, do you guys? I'm just waiting to see if you guys can hear this. I'm getting nothing. No, okay, thanks. We'll just go back to where we were. Give me a moment. Video file. Okay, here's another one. It's called So About the Stars. This is another one about star rotation. Because I just feel like playing it. That's lame, Andrew. Andrew says, please pray for RJ at school today. They excluded him from class party because he didn't have enough points. That sounds like a nice thing to do, huh? I'm just kidding. Here we go. Let's watch this. Tell him it doesn't matter, man.
Like,
Why?
are you serious? Because you the only observation that
notice the movement of Earth.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
all right, this isn't working. StreamYard is about as good as my other setup. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, sad thing is, in this world, it's probably the teacher that did the excluding. I don't know. Be discluded from the things. So I don't know what you guys got on your screen and getting these set better and stuff like that. But thank you for hanging out, and yeah, we'll see you soon, and keep looking up. Oops, end broadcast.